Hello everyone, myself Dr. G. Venkat Nagachandra, Assistant Professor at SR University Warangal in the Department of Civil Engineering. Today we will discuss about the Community Disaster Preparedness Plan and Mitigation Strategies. So, what are the components of community-based disaster preparedness that is called as community? First one will be the community risk assessment. In short term, that is called as CRA. First one with the hazard mapping. So we know means we need to list out the different kinds of hazards. Means hazard mapping means here means based on the location, then hazards also will be changed. Maybe in Odisha more prone to the cyclones. In Assam more prone to the earthquakes. So based on the history of data, we need to map the hazards in the Indian map. Then next one will be the vulnerability mapping. So what kind of groups maybe impact is more per particular hazard. That also should be mapped. Then resource mapping. What kind of resources existed in that particular community. That also should be mapped. So if it is deficient particular resource, we can send from one place to that particularly impacted area. Then social mapping, then we need to write chalk on the ground, then paper maps, the community meeting should be conducted and transact walks. So these are the things we need to do for the community risk assessment. So outcome will be the community knows it's a hotspot. If we know the particular area is hotspot, people can prepare. So next one is the formation of community disaster management committee. So for the formation of community disaster management committee, so these are the committee members. So what are the committee members? Local leaders. If suppose village that means president, and maybe it is comes as a kind of town or maybe MLA, then teachers, youth volunteers, Anganwadi workers, health workers, fishermen, farmers, drivers. These are members are community disaster management committee members. So what are those roles? What kind of activity they will do? The first thing will be the warning team. So they will give the warnings and evacuation team. For suppose fishermen will head to evacuate the people from the impacted region. Here warning team means teachers so will helps to give the communication to the local people. Then first aid team here maybe health workers and Anganwadi workers will both will helps to provide the first aid team. Then shelter management team here maybe local leaders they will supply shelter management team, and then farmers also will help them. Then search and rescue team. So these are the roles, these are the committee members. So next one is the early warning systems. Community managed systems such as, so what are the early warning systems? Sirens also we can use, and drum beating, then WhatsApp group messages, temple masjid, loudspeakers, volunteer announcing the different warnings. So this will helps to the people knows the real situation of the hazard. So next one is the mock drill. So mock drill, basically mock drill is required for the different kinds of hazards. Here listed as flood drill, earthquake drill, fire drill, chemical leak drill. During these kind of hazards, uh, what will we achieve? What kind of means limitations we can achieve? See, generally mock drills reveal so weak situations. Maybe if we are making the means uh, kind of sirens. People not aware of sirens means so we need to take extraction. So maybe here it is a weak procedures. Maybe some people, old people are there, children are there, their response will be slower. Then maybe they can't understand our language. That is the communication gaps, and last one is the lack of resources. So means if we are giving the mock drills, we can understand the limitations and also some kind of weak process existed. We can terminate and we can implement the real scenario. So next one is the community education and awareness. See here, awareness campaigns include different posters we can create, street plays, school programs, pamphlets, community meetings, social media groups. So means our aim will be the continuous awareness. That is called as education. You can means anyway education way means mostly will be the posters, street plays, school programs, pamphlet, community meetings, social media groups. We can share we can share the information of what will be the impact due to this hazard and what are the means minimum things we need to take care of. So imagine a cyclone is coming and you have warning 48 hours before. How does your response change? So we discuss several disaster preparedness plans as well as the combination. So how we will respond if you are giving the 48, 48 hours before uh, disaster occurred. So the goal of the protection and warning systems. So why we are means giving the 40 dose before, that is the reduce the mortality and damage, then increase preparedness time. So if you are giving the 48 hours before, that means we have means sufficient time to buy the items, what are the required things during the disaster. Then enable evacuation and resource mobilizations. So here the protection means here disaster protection and early warning systems. So means we need to predict the disaster. Then only we can supply sufficient number of health kits. Maybe we can construct the sufficient number of shelters. So and also we can provide sufficient quantity of food. So those things we can exactly quantify with the help of disaster protection. So that is the prediction means forecasting the likelihood, location, intensity, and timing of potential hazard event before it occurs. That is called as prediction. Prediction means before occurring, we need to predict what will be the impact, which location, maybe what kind of people may suffer. So predictability means which disaster can and cannot be predicted. So here means every means hazard disaster may not be predicted accurately. So means why it is happening? If it is predicting high, what is the reason? Means we are predicting 100% sure. We are not predicting. So what could be the reason? Those things we will discuss in this table. See here. So in coming to the cyclones. So means almost all we can predict high predictability. So before 24 hours or 48 hours. So why is the reason behind the prediction will be high is the trackable and atmospheric patterns. Then floods here around moderate to high. Maybe floods will occur due to the means damage of dams. So those things we can't means predict. Maybe opening of dam gates also floods may occur. This is the negligence of human. We can't means predict the human negligence. So here means why it is means here rainfall, river discharge models. So it is very difficult to identify. So rainfall also sometimes can't be predicted, means sure 100%. Then heat waves, it is also we can predict high. Why this means based on the temperature models, we can understand that this time could be the high temperature, maybe occurred. So based on that, we can give the warning to the particular location. Next one with the tsunamis. It is a low to moderate. It can't be means predictive prediction rate will be not high. It should be means kind of low to moderate. So generally earthquake will be happened under the sea. In that condition only tsunamis will be happened. So it is prediction will not be 100%. Then earthquakes, it is very low. So means we seen in the newspapers and TV televisions, we are not getting any kind of prior information. It may be happened this that. So it is not possible. So it means here in this situation, people may lose life more than what predict. So next one is the volcanic eruptions. It is a moderate. Maybe we can see the gas emissions, then seismic waves. We can understand. Maybe there could be chance of happening the volcanic eruptions. The landslides. Landslides also moderate. It is a kind of indirect. We can see the soil moisture contains of slope stability. We can understand that maybe there will be chances of landslides. So what are the components of a disaster prediction? So those means what are the components will be there. So first one is the for monitoring. There will be different satellites, sensor and weather stations existed. So based on these data, we can understand temperature may be increases, heavy rainfall may occur, uh, and temperature also will be increased rainfall like this way. We can predict. Then modeling. Using this data, we can use the different simulation models, different software, WRF, LSS, SLOSH, SCC, RAC. This kind of model we can go for it. We can predict. Then nowadays is trending is the artificial intelligence. We can go for the data analysis with the AI and geospatial analytics. The last one will be the if you means data is collecting from the satellite and weather station. After that, we are analyzing with the AI. Then finally, after analyzing, we can interpret these analysis in a hazard maps so that in next 5 years, maybe in next 2 hours, next 48 hours. So where it will be heavy rainfall, where it could be the high temperature, make that also we can be predicted. So, what is the early warning systems? Disaster prediction will be over then early warning systems. A systematic process that detects, forecasts, evaluates the risk, and communicates the timely alerts to the vulnerable communities. That is called as early warning systems. So, generally, the early warning system contains four pillars. One will be the risk knowledge. Risk knowledge is very important. So, in during the disaster protection, last step will be the hazard mapping. So, we are collecting the data from different sources, analyzing that. After that, we are going for the hazard mapping. So, next one with the vulnerability assessment. What kind of group will or impact for particular hazard? That is called as vulnerability assessment. Hazard probability analysis. Maybe earthquake maybe happen in the city of this city center, then the impact is small. So what could be the probability may occur in the city? Maybe what could be the probability it may occur outside the city? So those called as hazard probability analysis. The next pillar will be the monitoring and warning service. So here the Doppler radars, seismic networks, and tide gauges, satellite sensors, automated weather stations. These are the some kind of one monitoring and warning service. What is the dissemination of warnings? So here dissemination of a warning, it could be SMS alerts, Maybe we can communicate through the TV, FM radio, kind of sirens, using the kind of different mobile apps, using government of India is providing say NDMA kind of apps. It is there. We can see the information regarding tomorrow. It will be rainy or it could be means floods occur. Those things, those information they will publish the social media alerts. This is the called as dissemination of warnings. Then last pillar will be the response capability. So evacuation plans needs to be prepared and shelter also needs to be arranged in high level regions and community drills uh, and SOPs for agencies. These are the means four pillars in the early warning systems. So, what are the key technologies in prediction? So, we discuss generally means how to predict the disaster, then what could be the early warning systems. So, now what are the key technologies existed to predict the and after that we can give the warning. So, first we discuss the satellite. So, what kind of information, what kind of satellites in global uh, INSAT series in global wise the NOAA, then it will understand the real time cloud movement, sea surface temperature, and rainfall estimations. With the data of satellite, so we can estimate the surface temperature, rainfall estimation, and real time cloud movement. With the use of remote sensing technologies, thermal imaging for faster fire hotspots, where means if you are incorporating satellite data in remote sensing applications, we can understand the thermal imaging. Means thermal imaging means where temperature will be high, then there could be chances of forest fire. So and also landslide risk identification also will be possible and flood mapping also is possible. So here means our source data will be collected from the satellite. Then after that, this data will be incorporated in the remote sensing application so that we can predict uh, information accuracy. Then next one with the IoT sensor. IoT sensor means here river water level sensor, the rain gauges, the ground vibration sensors. So based on these sensors, we can understand yes, if a river water level crosses the design depth of water, then it makes a siren. So who are the people staying in the particular dam, near to the particular dam or maybe river, they can send to the higher elevations. Then ground vibration sensors, if it is creating the noise, maybe we can understand that earthquake maybe happen in the particular region. So those information will helps to take appropriate actions to reduce the impact on the people. So next one with the artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is one of the important trending topic with the artificial intelligence and ML applications. Uh, so we can track the cyclone track prediction, flood forecasting based on the historical data, landslide susceptibility mapping, pattern recognition before volcanic events. Here it means whatever the raw data is existed and captured from the satellite images, we are taking this data we can try to artificial intelligence so that it can create a model. That model we can predict what could be the means temperature maybe in after 2 days and maybe is there any chance to occur a floods or not, it can easily predict. So last one is the GIS based predictive modeling. So here we need to go for the multi-hazard donation maps and evacuation route planning. Here with the help of GIS, we can prepare the evacuation route. So which route will be not damaged or maybe not impacted due to these disaster. So they can escape from this route. So this JS will helps to escape people from the not impacted areas. So one of the case study, so I'm discussing here is the Odisha cyclone early warning success 2019. See, IMD accurately predicted. So accurately predicted cyclone Fani landfall. So here 1.2 million people are evacuated from this disaster. So here only in this cyclone, only 64 people are died. So it means very less number of casualties happened. So most of the people are means evacuated from the situation because of early warning systems. So in the previous lecture we discussed different types of early warning systems. Maybe the SMS alerts, maybe through the means TV channels, maybe through the posters, maybe different kinds of modes they are giving warning. So the casualty will be reduced, then ultimately will results give the strong early warning systems, then community readiness. So if you are giving the early warnings before 48 hours, so community also will be prepared. They can buy some necessary items from the market, so they are ready for the disaster. Then timely communication will help them to prepare the disaster. So this is the one of the uh, success of early warning systems. So coming to the case study two, here Indian Tsunami Warning Center. So it is set up after 2004 tsunami tragedy. So it uses seismographs, bottom pressure recorders, and GPS. The issue alert within 10 minutes of undersea earthquake. So it will helps to uh, the more number of people. So that's why these kind of 2004 tsunami trust. So what is the means here? We need to give some safety measures and response strategies for various disasters. So we discussed several times what is the meaning of disaster. Sudden events causing loss of life and property. This is the simple definition of disaster. So these safety measures, what will happen? It reduces the impact and reduce the economic as well as the property loss. So these response strategies determine how quickly community recover. So and also integrated into disaster cycle, maybe mitigation, then followed by preparedness, response, recovery. So what are the universal safety principles? The first one will be the we need to stay calm and alert always. Then evacuation basics means what is the means we have to know the where will be the exit point, where will be the safe zones. So next one is the drop cover hold during the earthquake. So we need to follow drop cover hold, emergency communication plan, and also family college emergency kit essentials. So first and foremost thing we need to follow is the await rumors. Follow official alerts. So if earthquakes happen, what kind of safety we need to follow? What kind of response we need to uh, expect from the government? So just before occur of any earthquake, then secure furniture and earthquake resistant structures needs to be constructed. So conduct regular drills in which if suppose in particular area it is prone to the earthquakes, so we need to send a particular team. We need to give the mock drills, uh, so that what will happen during the disaster, they will escape from the impact. During a disaster, we need to drop our hold. Then if outdoors, move to own space. So if someone is there outdoors, then move to open space. So impact will be reduced. Then during this disaster, try to avoid lifts. Try to use staircases. So after disaster, we need to check gas leaks, any injuries. So this kind of expert after the shock. After shocks. So coming to the floods. So here will be the safety and response. Before, elevate electrical points, then identify evacuation routes. So these information will be provided from the government of India. Time to time, what kind of route is safe for the means people who can escape from the particular region, and also this is the flood, so that what are the electrical points, maybe electrical wires we need to keep in a upper stage so that it won't touch the water. So next one is the during disaster, evacuate evacuate early and avoid moving in a water. Stay away from the electrical poles. These are the things we need to do during the floods. Then after floods, we need to purify the drinking water. Then only we need to take. Otherwise, the water is contaminated with the different chemicals and different contaminants. So that if you are taking, we may prone to different diseases. Then avoid returning until official clearance. So next one with the cyclones. So what could be our safety and response? Here, before cyclones, we need to board windows, store water and food, and secure loose items outside. So during these cyclones, we need to stay indoors, away from the windows. That is the things. We need to stay indoors, away from the windows. So turn off the power, then after await coastal areas. Then watch for fallen wires. So coming to the landslides. Here, the before landslides, avoid construction on unstable slopes. So during of landslides, move away from the slope and warn others nearby. That is the things we need to do during the landslides. And then after, avoid river banks, risk of black. Then during the forest fires, so before we need to take fire lines, ban and burning waste. That should be stopped. During the thing, evacuate the people from the nearby forest areas and cover face with the moisture cloths. Then after disaster, we need to identify the hotspots. So during the industrial and chemical accidents. So before occurring, we need to wear the PPE kits and kind of alarms and safety audits. Then during these accidents, shelter in place or evacuate the based on the wind. If wind is flowing through the particular community, so we need to evacuate the particular community so that impact will be reduced. And try to means close the doors and windows. Then after decontamination and medical monitoring needs to be done for particular community. And coming to the response, national and local response mechanism. So in center or national level, NDRF team will be there. Main means role of this NDRF will be search and rescue and providing medical aid and CBR and response. So coming to the state level and district level, those are SDRF, DDMA. So they will also provide evacuation plans and relief centers to the impacted people. So early warning agencies, maybe IMD, we are unknown, and CWC for the related to floods, INCOS for the tsunamis, FSA for the forest fires. So coming to the means, these are the means for particular hazard, how to escape, and what kind of safety measures we need to take. So here next slide will be discuss about the role of information, education and training in disaster preparedness. So here disaster preparedness is effective only when people know, understand, can act during the emergencies. This is achieved through the three pillars. So one will be the information, education, training. Together, they build a community resilience, reduce the casualties, and ensure faster response. So, thank you very much.